Today I did my best to make my own 32 bar drum and bass loop. This is a thing that I have enjoyed when I've downloaded them from Splice, these kind of big long loops that have like different sections that move through, and it's really good for ideating, really good for coming up with new sounds, but it's always frustrating because then I have to like go and build my own drums, and I feel like I don't actually take the time to make them good. So today we got kind of like the 4 sections down and kind of what makes them different. And I want to go back in tomorrow and tweak some of these, like add some like extra kick hits at places, some extra snare hits and stuff. But in general, I'm kind of happy with this. This is what it sounds like. The kick and snare combo here could not be more basic. I went and found new sounds, but it's drum and bass. It doesn't deviate from that at all, except for at the end of every 8 bars, I leave out the kick. Tomorrow I want to go through and kind of like add a little more variation in those 2 instruments, but for now, those will do fine. The next thing is the hi-hat situation. I went and found an open-closed hi-hat sound, which I think is kind of a nice way to start things before getting into the like that. It makes the drum just a little bit more alive, and it also, I don't know, just like it makes me enjoy the a little bit better when there's that open one to kind of draw my attention to it. The next thing we added was these atmospheric hits, which this is just this sample here pulled into a sampler, and with the attack and release like set to 0, so it's just kind of chopping the sound up, and that came out like. And then we also have shaper box right on top of it to get it out of the way of the kick drum. Pretty aggressive EQ on that original sample, but nice little texture. And then this just little kind of like percussive detail was just a really pretty sound from Splice. I don't know what it is, but it's got a lot of, it's just fun. And it fits really nicely into some pockets. Over here slightly differently. Slightly more late and on the grid. And this next section here, this guy. We built him up here. This is just a sample from this Blue Martin breaks library, the Days break. This one here. And it's just taking that first bit, boom, jaboo. Just that, with a low cut going through here. And we bounced that so that we could then put some like OTT and shaper box and stuff on top of it. Without the shaper box here is actually doing a lot of work on this in a way that we don't usually use it for. It's more of a, I don't know, it's really affecting the groove. Without the shaper box, this sound sounds like this. And in context, it's in this kind of like it's a much more tight rhythm that's like kind of speeding the piece up. And I didn't want to quite speed things up until this third 8 bars here, so we put this on there to kind of create this pocket. So while the instrument is doing this a lot of sounds, really what you more hear is it going, and that I think leans more into kind of the broader rhythm we want to draw out before we get over here, and we have it going with a shaper box as well, but a much looser or much lighter effect. So it's leaning a little bit more into the and then also layered up with this guy, who is just explicitly a chicka, you know, like 16th maybe even 30-second note chop there. And then we layer that also with some crash cymbals here, kind of going left, right, left, right. That I put a trance gate on. Fun little gatey effect there to make it a little bit less than just psh, 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 psh. Also grabbed this sound kind of in that same computer vein. I like that sound, carved it with a little bit of EQ, and then put it to echo. And so this section here, there's also this computery sound. So it's kind of like a crash impact in between these sounds. That's kind of cool. And then we get over here and you get all those layers going at the same time. And now we start to trim back so that it's not as busy, so that we can loop it. My goal when I sat down was just to make drums that were interesting in and of themselves, and these are close to there. I feel like this groove, I'm interested in listening to that. That feels poppy, you know. It does need some synth of some sort to like really kind of like glue it together, you know, if I were to like it starts to come to a little bit more life. So but I do want to kind of like come back through and add, you know, a few more like little kind of like bass and snare hits and stuff to like keep it interesting. But I'm happy to have this as the sort of thing I'll probably process and bounce and then use in my own looping library, pull it in, and I do want to try and make a song out of it. We've learned a lot about drum and bass over the last few months and what we like, what we don't like, and I think it's time to really commit to finishing a piece instead of going through and constantly starting new tracks. So we'll see. I don't know. I like this. That's all we have time for today. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.